what's going on, Dodgers Nation? Doug McCain here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. The Dodgers have placed Clayton Kershaw on the injured list. We're going to tell you what that means for the Dodgers starting rotation, for the pitching staff. When will Kershaw be back potentially? We're going to dive into that in just a second. But quick reminder, for all latest Dodgers news, rumors, hype videos, interviews, breakdowns, and more all season long, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you really want to support the channel, smash that like button. And as always, I want your takes down below in the comments section. Today's Dodgers Nation question of the day: what are your thoughts on Clayton Kershaw going down with an injury? What are your thoughts on the Dodgers starting rotation? Now you have Andrew Heaney out, Clayton Kershaw out, you got Blake Treinen out. A lot of injuries starting to pile up for this Dodgers pitching staff. And what do you think they should do? Should they consider making a trade? Should they call up a Michael Grove? How do you think they should address this issue? Let me know down below in the comments section. And for all the latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. So we've got some breaking news to report, and it is not good news. The Dodgers just announced that they have placed Clayton Kershaw on the injured list. The Dodgers just tweeted out, the Dodgers recalled left-handed pitcher Garrett Clevenger and placed Clayton Kershaw on the injured list with right SI joint inflammation. Now, he was scheduled to start tonight, but Walker Buehler will be starting in place of Clayton Kershaw tonight against the Phillies, and he'll be on regular rest. Thanks to that spot start from Ryan Pepiot the other day, Walker Buehler will be on regular rest for tonight's start. So the first question I have is, what the hell is sacroiliitis? So I looked it up, and it's defined as: sacroiliitis is the inflammation of one or both of your sacroiliac joints. These two joints are located where the sacrum, the triangular last section of the spine, meets the ilium, a part of the pelvis. Sacroiliitis is a common source of lower back pain or pain in the buttocks or thighs. It is often difficult to diagnose since many other conditions cause pain in the same location. So there you have that, and the big takeaway there is at least it's not dealing with his arm. It's not any arm inflammation, any elbow tightness, anything of that. It's no shoulder injury. You don't have the shoulder discomfort. You don't have the inflammation. So that definitely is something positive. But having him on the injured list is not good for the Dodgers, especially when you consider the fact that he has been LA's best pitcher to start this season. Yes, Walker Buehler, he's been a close second, but if you look at Clayton Kershaw's numbers so far, here are his MLB ranks. He has a 1.8 ERA. That's good for 8th. A .73 whip. That's good for 2nd. A 2.26 FIP. That's good for 4th. A 181 opponent's batting average. That's good for 5th in all of Major League Baseball. He's getting the punch outs. He's missing bats. A 29.4 K percentage. That's good for 9th. He's not walking guys. A 2.8 walk percentage. That's good for 5th. And then a 1 F4. That's good for 9th in all of Major League Baseball. So early on this season, he's reestablished himself as a top 10 pitcher in the league, and he's been a guy that the Dodgers can depend upon. They can rely on to go out there and give them a quality start. So Clayton Kershaw is down. Now, when can he return? So what you have to know about the IL for pitchers, it's a 15-day stint, and they did backdate it until Monday. So the soonest that he can return is on May 24th. So we're going to have to monitor his progress, see how serious it is. Dave Roberts, of course, hasn't talked to the media today, but he can return as early as May 24th. So the big question for the Dodgers now is, how do they bridge that gap? How are they able to get guys in there and make these starts? Now, the first thing I was thinking, too, is a lot of criticism last night for Dave Roberts and him leaving Tyler Anderson in the game because he gives up those 7 runs. Well, now you know why they needed him to go 6 innings, because you don't want to deplete that bullpen and you want to keep guys on regular rest. Julio Urias on regular rest. You're going to have Tony Gonsolin on regular rest thanks to that spot start that we talked about earlier with Ryan Pepiot. But moving forward, who will they bring up to start a game? Now, we know that Ryan Pepiot, he's probably going to get the start on Tuesday. He was optioned, but he'll be brought back up for that doubleheader against the Arizona Diamondbacks. But one name to consider is Michael Grove. MLB.com's Juan Toribio tweeted out, Dodgers are in a tough spot when it comes to finding length over the next few games and a doubleheader looming. Hearing one option for tomorrow is Michael Grove, who is on the 40-man roster but hasn't pitched above Double-A. Team is still talking through things. So the Dodgers could turn to Michael Michael Grove, a player that they drafted out of West Virginia in 2018 in the second round. He's currently the Dodgers' number 23 prospect so far this season for AA Tulsa. He has a 2.76 ERA in 16 1/3 innings pitched, 22 punch-outs through 5 starts, and he's a guy that's made some mechanical adjustments. He was able to experience an increase to his velocity. He's got a nice slider. He also throws a curveball, a changeup at times, and the fact that he is already on that 40-man roster, it makes sense for him to come up and make that spot start. Now, I see a lot of you out there saying the Dodgers should bring up Bobby Miller. You guys are clamoring for Miller time. Well, one, he's not on the 40-man roster, and two, he's not quite ready just yet. He's still down in AA, has an ERA over 5. They're still trying to work out some things with Bobby Miller, and they fully see him as a future frontline starter for this rotation. They don't want to rush him, and you know how the Dodgers handle young pitchers. They're not just going to thrust him into that situation. And also, you don't want to do that for a spot start. Have to free up a 40-man roster spot just for Bobby Miller just to make a spot start. So, yes, the injuries are becoming concerning. They are starting to pile up. Andrew Heaney, he was a revelation early on, and then he experienced that shoulder discomfort. They lost Blake Trinan, their best high-leverage reliever, and now they've lost Clayton Kershaw, their best starter, to start the season. But we'll see how serious this injury is. I don't think it's too severe at all. I think when it comes to Clayton Kershaw, you want to avoid any arm injuries. Anything dealing with his arm, now that is definitely alarming. That's a red flag. But in this case, I'm sure there's some discomfort, but I don't think it's anything that's going to keep him out for an extended period of time. Now, what will the Dodgers do to address this? Well, there's the option we already talked about. You could bring up Michael Grove. You also have Andre Jackson. You have Mitch White. Dave Roberts told us yesterday that David Price is close to being ready to be used, and I think he'll be coming out of the bullpen, but he's another guy that could provide some depth. So really right now, the big question for this Dodger team is how they're going to weather this storm with Clayton Kershaw out. And I think that you're starting to think it looks a little thin. The rotation, the bullpen, they're losing some key guys. Do they look to go to market to add some arms at any point? Do they consider becoming active on the trade market and contacting the Cincinnati Reds for pitchers like Castillo or Molly, or even a bullpen piece like Sessa? And we know after Peter Gammon's tweet the other day that the Reds are now considering dealing those guys. And then also, do they contact the A's and inquire about Frankie Montas? I mean, I don't think they're there just yet. And you also have to consider the fact that Danny Duffy is still going to return at some point this summer. They fully expect Dustin May to return at some point after the All-Star break. Same thing with Blake Trinan. And also Caleb Ferguson, who hasn't looked that great down in AAA, still recovering from Tommy John. But back in 2020, he was dominant as the Dodgers' left-handed reliever. So they're still anticipating getting him back. So yes, they're losing some guys, but they will be getting some guys back during this season. So I don't think they're going to be desperate to make a trade or anything like that. And then how about last night? My man Yency Almonte. If you guys have been watching the post-game show, you know that I've been pushing for the Dodgers to call him up because he's got this stuff that plays up. He ditched that four-seam fastball. He's going with that sinker, going with that slider, has that filthy movement, that filthy velocity that plays up in the show. And I'm telling you, I've talked to people within the organization. They are very high on Yency Almonte. They think that he can be a dude for them. So the Dodgers, they are going to weather this storm. And I think when it comes to Clayton Kershaw, the thing that I think about is I want him on the mound starting in the All-Star game in Los Angeles, which could be his last year in LA. I want him on the mound for that. And yes, you have Carlos Rodon. You have some other pitchers in the National League that are getting off to really nice starts. But Clayton Kershaw, I think that if he's even close, you got to give him the nod. So hopefully he can get back and start to put up those numbers that he was putting up before he went down and continue his strong start to the season. But let me know down below in the comment section, how do you think the Dodgers should deal with the absence of Clayton Kershaw? Do you think they should consider trading for a starting pitcher, trading for another reliever? Do you think they should call up Michael Grove? I want all your thoughts down below in the comment section. My name is D-Mac. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all latest Dodgers news, rumors, hype videos, interviews, and more, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you really want to support the channel, smash that like button. And as always, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.